Good evening, everyone. Good evening. Thank you for joining once again Rizzo Nation podcast. Myself, D. Rizzo, on a wonderful weekend night. We decided to get a few fellas together. Myself, my main man Reece Williams is in the building. We got my man Bruce Alexander and special guest. My brother is in the house. Sean Wright is in the house. So, as you know, we do this. We talk about a little bit of everything. I'm going to go ahead and bounce it to Reece. Let him introduce himself, and then we'll go around and we'll get going.
Yes, this is Reece Williams. I'm a co-host of Rizzo Nation. And just happy to be back. And enjoying myself with this podcast. I'm going to move it on.
Who's that cat over there?
All right, hey, this is Bruce Alexander. I am a school board member for Akron Public Schools. I am on juvenile court probation officer, and I'm here just listening, try to give a little input if I can. Thank you.
All right, man of the hour. Who we got sitting next to me here?
All right, Maurice Wright.
Did he go with the government name?
Yes, I did. Because I'm a mule. Just here to give my little insight on things that I might know or might not know, and let's go from there.
All right, Reece, hit us up. What you got here? What we got here, partner?
Well, I got this first topic we wanted to go by, run by y'all. Does Myles Garrett deserve the benefit of the doubt, or is he using this as an excuse as far as his aspect on how he came out? Coming up with the excuse of using the N-word as him going off.
All right.
Does anybody have any thoughts?
Does he deserve the benefit of the doubt, Shaq?
Well, one of the things that I don't understand. It's just me. There's this I guess this tension or whatever in the air that's basically saying Mason Rudolph said the N-word. We don't know what he said. So it seems like everybody has automatically gone to that. He could have said, I love you. We don't know what jumped off. Now, whatever it was that was said sent this boy into a frenzy. I will grant you that, but I'm willing to bet there are more blacks that say that word on the field than there are whites. Now, I guess my question would be is he what was the question again?
Does Myles Garrett deserve the benefit of the doubt?
Everybody does.
Okay.
So does that justify his actions?
Well, I believe that Myles, when you go into a rage, in my personal opinion, when you go into a rage like that and you don't normally do something like that, that's not your character on the field, and you go into a rage, that's what that looks like. Now, you can't be positive of what he said. You may be right about that, but I've been enraged before, and from that word, I've had to stop my kids from using at school. One of my kids had one of the another student has said that, and I had to calm my son down from being enraged from that word. Mm-hmm. So I had to let him know how to deal with that without being enraged. So to my personal opinion, when I look at Myles Garrett on that field, that's something that came from an enrage if something was said.
Here's a question for you.
Okay.
One of the problems I have with this, you said your son was enraged. He was enraged.
Mm-hmm.
Why wait 7 days?
Oh, okay. Well, he was already. It was numerous times he was told, as far as the media. I know he told Freddie Kitchens what he said. Freddie Kitchens had told the media. They asked him, "Did he talk to Myles Garrett?" And Freddie Kitchens said, "Well, he mentioned to me what had happened, and so I will not take it there. I think it was a couple of different times that he had told, even when after the incident had happened, and he was in the locker room, and they were the reporters were asking him. He said just go check the tape. Go check the tape. He in his eyes, I believe that he knew he didn't want to come out and say it. He didn't want to come out and say it because he knew that it would mess it. First of all, it would make him look like he's using a race card, which we all know. We all know that as soon as a black man come out and say something about you, whether they can tell or not, they're gonna use you as using the race card.
It's like it's
a double-edged sword.
Right, it's like a get out of jail free card.
Right.
To a point.
So if you're smart, sometimes you say, hey, I'm just gonna wait till appeal where I think it's gonna be private, and I can go ahead and just tell the appeal court.
Right.
This is what I'm not going to broadcast it in front of everybody. Some people do have the patience to not just blur it out. Mm-hmm. That's my opinion.
Yeah, and you definitely don't condone what Myles Garrett did, but as mentioned, we don't know what was said or what was said or what was not said. We can't determine that. But I'm going back to the original question: should he be given a second chance? And I think everybody should give him an opportunity. I mean, it's just one time that this occurred. Was it out of rage? It could be. Was it because it was called the N-word? It could be. Nobody really knows but him and possibly Rudolph, who was there. But nobody else really knows. So I think the young man should have an opportunity to redeem himself. I mean,
you have rapists, women beaters, all these things who are playing professional football, professional sports. So he should be given an opportunity to. I have no problem with that. I guess I'm a little fuzzy on some things as far as if this actually, whatever it was, if this actually happened. I'm not waiting. Somebody gonna know.
See, and I disagree with that. And the reason behind that is he didn't come out and blatantly say that. He said that in what he thought was behind closed doors for his appeal process. So therefore, he wasn't using that as a crutch.
Okay.
Go ahead.
If it's behind closed doors, how'd he get out?
The NFL leaked it.
Yeah. His appeal process, he came out and said that.
All right, so if the appeal process, if that leaked it, then why don't you jump ahead?
I would most likely say he was not under the impression it was going to be leaked.
And I'll take the piece that Reece said. Also, maybe he didn't want to bring that out because he didn't want it to sound like there's something that he's using. So therefore, I'm just going to let it go and we'll let it play out. And hopefully they'll maybe suspend me for a couple games, fine me, and let me come back. But to let me go for the rest of the season, I'm sure he didn't think that. But then as he got behind those closed doors, and they said, tell us actually what happened. And if that is what really happened, again, we don't know if that's what happened. But this is what he's saying, and maybe he thought that would be the best place to say it. At that time.
You knew that he was going to get a suspension, whatever, because they were calling for it. So, the severity of it is, I guess, what we were looking for. We knew he was going to get, suspended probably the rest of the season. We don't know about next season, but we know about what's happening this year.
We weren't looking for that based on Alzado having a 15-yard penalty and getting suspended for that first game.
Or Randy White.
Correct.
Or several others.
Yeah, so we weren't looking for 6 games or whatever game suspension. No.
So that's a double standard there in itself. Correct?
Of course.
Because they were actually calling for this boy not to play football next year as well.
Right.
So,
the rule book states if you use the helmet as a weapon, you get
it's
one game, 15-yard penalty, and 1 game suspension.
Correct.
So Myles Garrett's whole premise, his argument was the rule book says in such and such section A, whatever, that this is what I'm supposed to be penalized. Now, why am I getting 6 games for doing what the rule book said? The rule book was made. It was the La Lazeta rule. That's actually how the rule came about.
Do you think Pouncey, according to what you're saying, do you think Pouncey should have gotten more time than Garrett?
Well,
not
much time. No, it should have been. It should have been relative.
Yeah, it should have got more time.
Relative to what?
Relative to more than just a fine.
Well, he got 3 games suspension, but
he got 2 games.
Well, they reduced it down.
They reduced it to
2 games.
So they originally said 3 games. Then he did appeal, and he got 2 games suspension. Which you kicking a man on the he been held down on the ground, subdued, and then you decide to kick him in his head, and he does have a helmet on, but you kick him and you punching him.
But is that a little more heinous than what he did?
Then who is he? Garrett?
Pouncey, because he is being held down.
Yeah, and that's more cowardly because Mason Rudolph said that Myles Garrett was a coward. I'm looking at.
But he was playing the victim at the time.
Right. But my thing is, you calling him a coward, and this man is being held down. He's got 3 Steelers against him, and he's the only one. And he's being held down, getting beat, and Myles Garrett was just going. It was man on man. This guy is not no little man. He wasn't.
He's about 6'4".
6'4".
Mason
Rudolph. Yeah, he's a big man, just like Myles. Myles probably maybe 30, 40 pounds heavier,
right?
Something like that. You know.
Was any of the suspensions justified?
I think Myles is. I think Myles wasn't justified as far as.
When you say justified, are you talking about
length of suspension?
I don't.
Okay, so you had Pouncey,
2 games.
You had Ogunjobi,
1 game,
and you had Myles Garrett. Now, Ogunjobi, I think his was justified because he went out there headhunting basically. He didn't go to.
And basically he led him the wrong guy. Because if I was Ogunjobi, I would have headhunted Pouncey.
Well, actually, it would have been more justified if he had.
I would have came in. I'd have blindsided Pouncey because he's on my dude, kicking him, and while he's doing swinging and kicking him, he'd have got the TO.
Now supposedly,
TO tried to get on the star and got spiked.
Oh yeah,
that's what Pouncey would have got if he'd have been my teammate.
So would all the suspensions be justified because there was some reaction or something that they did? Each one of them, the severity might be something different, but does it justify and does it show that all of them got what they maybe should have gotten because of suspension?
The quarterback didn't get what I thought he should have got. They tried to sneak that up and say we're gonna give you more than anybody else as far as like the I think he got $50,000. They moved it up to $50,000.
What was it, 30 or something?
It was like
30, 35.
So he got the most as far as money.
Right.
But
not necessarily.
As far as that money, but Myles got like $1.2 million or something.
Right.
Because of the games.
Right.
So his was the only one that wasn't justified. The other 3 were justified, and his wasn't justified. Is that right? Is that what we're saying?
Yeah. And the optics of that, and I hate to bring it up like this, but I'm gonna throw it out there since we on Rizzo Nation.
Right.
You got 3 black athletes, 1 white athlete.
Well, I know that I know this might be a little lightning rod, but I know it sounds like I was listening to your boy Jason Whitlock earlier.
Oh my!
And
go ahead.
We're gonna go into another one on that one. We're gonna wrap this portion up and talk about Whitlock. Whitlock and Steven, they deserve their own piece. We're gonna do,
but they're necessary.
We're gonna discuss them. We're we're going to finish this topic and create one specifically for those guys.
Okay.
Yeah. Anything else on this here? Any other comments, feedbacks on the? So what's the takeaway here, gentlemen? What's the takeaway? Myles Garrett. I mean, there's some precedents in the books. His was heightened. There's some mitigating factors. There's some concerns whether he played the race card and it wasn't actually a race issue. What's the takeaway here, gentlemen?
Well, in my eyes, we'll never know the truth.
Mm-hmm.
So, but go ahead.
Well, they'll never release the audio because it's self-preservation.
Of course.
Why would I?
Is there audio?
I believe
of
it
course.
is.
You believe it's audio?
I believe it's
yes,
audio.
of course.
I believe they know. I believe that they know what was said.
If you
okay,
well, ask yourself this. Ask yourself this: if you can sit at a football game or watch a football game on television and you can hear the quarterback's cadence, you can hear this. I'm really.
Okay.
So I understand that portion of it, but why would I give you that to make this player look bad, or not to say that he's the face of the team,
right? But make it
that's self-preservation.
Well,
I'm not going to do
Give
that.
the game a black eye.
I was saying it could hurt the NFL by doing that if it's something that come out in that video or audio that say, "Oh man, wow, we got a bigger problem than what we anticipated." So therefore, you don't bring it out and you just kind of deal with everything at hand and let it go and then
let it go away.
Let it go away.
So under the rug, let it go away.
Because now it can hurt our league. So we don't want to do that.
No way.
You will be locking step with Kaepernick.
There you go.
You release that. I mean, where we going from there? Yeah. That's exactly what Cap talking about. So, all right, we're gonna go ahead and wrap this up here, gentlemen, and get into the other one, the NFL commentators and kind of where they stand at here today. Again, D Rizzo holding it down. I got my main man Reece to the left of me. Go ahead, gentlemen. Y'all close it up. Closing words, closing statements here.
I just believe that I believe that Myles Garrett was justified as far as waiting 6 days to take to his appeal.
Okay.
That's something I think somebody with a little more. I think he was getting some advice from his lawyers, maybe the team, because the team he was going to have an interview, and the team shut the interview down. I forgot about that.
That's true.
They shut the interview down because they knew he was going to come out and say it. I mean, I can't say for sure he was going to come out and say it, but that's my assumption. So I believe he was justified for waiting 6 games.
Okay.
So go ahead, Bruce.
Yeah, it's kind of tough to me to a certain extent because if you have some rules that state one thing and then you kind of do something. I know there's some gray areas in there and you can use those gray areas, but I kind of feel bad for Myles because he's losing so many games, and of course the Browns are definitely going to miss him these last so many games, and so I don't know. I think that it happened. Hopefully everybody learned from it. I know I'm pretty sure Myles has learned from it, and he won't allow something like this to happen again. But there's something also, maybe even the NFL needs to go back and look at some things that are going on there as well. So there's a number of ways they can look at this. But hey, he got his time. The others got their time. You should have gotten another opportunity. I think, Leah, you always give a man opportunity like that, and especially if he hasn't had anything else that's going on with him. He's been a model citizen, off on the field and off the field, and all of a sudden one incident. I think you got to give him opportunity.
Absolutely.
All right, Shaq?
I agree with that wholeheartedly. To a point, I agree with you, but I agree to disagree on a few things. I don't think I personally. I understand what you're saying, and he was probably instructed not to say this, but I personally feel sometimes you have to get out or get out there before, So I would have said, well, look, this is what happened. Put my cards on the table. Let's go from there.
Okay.
That's just me. So
No, perfectly justified in your opinion. You're right.
All right, gentlemen, getting ready to wrap up another session in the booth of Rizzo Nation. Look for this here at Upscale Media Group.podbean.com. And of course, we're on YouTube at Upscale Media Group here. All right, we signing off, fellas. We out. Y'all good?
All right.
All right.